Bonjour, c'est Clara French in the Midlands. I made this video to practice how to use the expression venir de, which is to have just. And this is suitable for beginners, intermediate and advanced learners. And before we start, let me quickly mention you can claim your free ebook, The 12 Golden Rules of French, by clicking the link in the description. It's full of tips and tricks on how to speak French like a native speaker. As we just said, venir de means to have just done something. And funnily enough, in French, it's always followed by the infinitive, not the past tense, even though it denotes the immediate past. So for instance, in French, we'll say, je viens de sortir. Literally, I have just to go out. But in English, you say, I have just gone out, because you don't have that expression in English. In French, the beauty of it is you don't need to use the past after it, which is why it's a very useful expression. We'll start with our beginner's practice, and I'll give you the vocab you'll need in this lesson. So the first thing we'll practice is je viens de, I have just. It's using the verb venir, which means to come, but when you add de after it, it means to have just. It completely transforms the meaning of it. Il or elle vient de, it's he or she has just. It sounds exactly the same as the je, except it's got a T instead of the S. Both are silent, so when you want to just speak French, it doesn't matter. Perdre, to lose. Commander, to order. Partir, to leave. De l'argent, some money. Now, of course, the sum in English is not really compulsory, but it is in French. So you could just say money, but we'd still say de l'argent. Un gâteau, a cake. Let's start our practice. Your first sentence is, I have just lost some money, or you could just say I've just lost money. So you know I have just is je viens de. Lost, which is to lose after je viens de, we said it was infinitive. Perdre. Some money, de l'argent. Je viens de perdre de l'argent. Je viens de perdre de l'argent. Your second example, I have just ordered a cake. Same thing. I have just is je viens de. Ordered, which should be to order in French. Commander. A cake, un gâteau. Je viens de commander un gâteau. Je viens de commander un gâteau. I have just left. I have just is je viens de, and left is to leave, partir. Je viens de partir. Now let's practice she has just lost some money, or she has just lost money. She has just is elle vient de. Lost, to lose. Perdre. Some money, de l'argent. Elle vient de perdre de l'argent. Elle vient de perdre de l'argent. He has just ordered a cake. He has just. Il vient de, so elle was for she. Il is for he. Ordered, to order, commander. A cake, un gâteau. Il vient de commander un gâteau. Il vient de commander un gâteau. She has just left. She has just, elle vient de, left, to leave, partir. Elle vient de partir. Elle vient de partir. And now let's get to our intermediate practice. Again, I'll give you the vocab and then we'll practice some sentences. This time, instead of I have just, it's we have just. And be aware we've got two we in French. We've got the on vient de, and the nous venons de. We use on for speaking and nous mostly for writing. So we'll practice both in this example. Ils viennent de or elles viennent de, which both mean they have just, but remember the il is the masculine they and the elles is the feminine they. And of course when it's a mixed group, it's il. You go for the masculine. Rater, which is to miss. It's not to miss someone, as in I miss you, but it's when you miss your plane or your train or something you should have taken. Démissionner, it's to resign. An interesting word, démissionner. Basically to give up on your mission, if you like. And then se marier, which is to get married. Now, of course, we don't have the verb to get in French, remember that. So we say to marry each other, and that's why the se is there, it's your each other. L'avion, the plane. Le début du film, the beginning of the film. Your first sentence, they just got married. Ils viennent de se marier. Ils viennent de se marier. If you forget the se, ils viennent de marier, I'm waiting for who did they marry. It's got to be somebody else because the se is not there, you see. Ils viennent de se marier, you need it there. They have just missed the plane. Ils viennent de rater l'avion. Or elles viennent de rater l'avion, if it's feminine. They have just missed the beginning of the film. Ils viennent de rater le début du film. Or elles, it could be elles as well. Ils viennent de rater le début du film. This time it's we've just got married. So you have two possibilities. You can say on vient de se marier or nous venons de nous marier. You can see why we don't use the second one when we speak. On vient de se marier. It's a lot easier to say than nous venons de nous marier. And you've got that nous twice and it sounds a bit clumsy even though it's correct. Because we have just married each other, the each other has to change with the person who speaks. On, you leave it in the neutral form. It's really easy. We've just resigned. On vient de démissionner. Or, nous venons de démissionner. On vient de démissionner. Nous venons de démissionner. We've just missed the plane. On vient de rater l'avion. Or, nous venons de rater l'avion. On vient de rater l'avion. Nous venons de rater l'avion. And now let's do our advanced practice. The vocab you need for this lesson is here. Tu viens de, you have just informal. When you say tu to someone, you're on familiar terms. Vous venez de, you have just. When you're either on formal terms with someone or there's more than one person you're talking to, you still use vous. Arriver en retard, to get there late. Faire le plein, to fill the car up, to fill up. Être malade, to be ill. Sortir, to go out or to come out of. Au travail, at work. En vacances, on holiday or away. And l'hôpital, the hospital. Now for our first practice sentence. You've just got to work late, haven't you? Tu viens de, or vous venez de, arriver en retard au travail, non? Tu viens d'arriver en retard au travail, non? So you see the haven't you, we don't really have a way of expressing that, so a lot of the time we said non with a question mark. Have you just come out of hospital? Tu viens de sortir de l'hôpital. So make your voice go up. It could be vous venez, of course. Vous venez de sortir de l'hôpital. Or tu viens de sortir de l'hôpital. As long as your voice goes up, you more or less leave the sentence as it is when you make a statement. They have just gone away, or they've just gone on holiday. Because we can't say go away in French, you have to say to go on holiday. Ils viennent de partir en vacances. Now, partir en vacances is called a collocation, which means it's like a set expression. You can't use any other verbs. You can't say aller en vacances. It's not really the done thing. We say partir en vacances. Ils viennent de partir en vacances. And if it was several women, it would be elles viennent de partir en vacances. Your next practice sentence. Actually, I have just been ill. For those who don't know, actually, it's en fait. En fait, je viens d'être malade. En fait, je viens d'être malade, which is in fact. Because if you say actuellement in French, it means at the moment, currently, it doesn't mean actually. He's just filled the car up. Il vient de faire le plein. Il vient de faire le plein. She has just gone out. Elle vient de sortir. Elle vient de sortir. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. À bientôt.